Right, everybody, let's take a look at what you're going to get in this collection that is all about poppy fields. So I'm just going to pop to one side the pieces that I've been looking at, and don't forget to check out our YouTube channel at highlightcrafts.com. So, and please subscribe, because that way you get to see all the best things that we've got for you. And this collection is one of my favourites of the whole year. And it was all about fallen fruit and those brilliant, bright, vibrant poppies that we see in the fields and the distance. And being able to maybe bring in some things that you've already got in the past, your scenes or other elements. But I know that in my garden, the pears and the apples have been falling for a month or so now, and the little animals have been finding their way inside them. And this is a great place for them to be, definitely for them to hide out, but also to get themselves an absolute feast. So we're taking a look now at the main background die. So this is the die that's designed to be the scene of the collection. And what you've got are elements that cut into and lift up, things that you'll have noticed that we do very well here at Highlight Crafts, particularly with Two Red Robins, because it's one of the looks and feels of those dies. And then you've got that overall piece where we then can layer up elements and get dimension to it too. And this you can put using your silicone or your glue gel or even foam pads to get depth and dimension. It shows you what it looks like when the two pieces are separated out. And when they're separated out, they are designed perfectly for all of these individual layers. So if you see here, there's the first, there's the second. So imagine those layered up when we get to coming building our scenes. And that's clearly what you can see here to get that depth into the design. So let's then move on to the accent pieces. So we've got our corn, we've got our cute little characters. These two little meese are perfect to go into the fruit themselves. This is Sammy and Susie. And you can see how many we've got here on the reflection sheet. Again, available to download at highlightcrafts.com. Next, we've got all of the elements that we're going to build our scene with. Now, it doesn't matter which way you layer these up, you're going to get amazing results. They're called the harvest border flowers. When you look at the reflections, it's difficult to see how you're going to get all that delicate detail. But when it's cut, it couldn't look better. And just going to share with you another idea of you seeing all of those layers coming together. So you can see the flowers here and see how they've been layered into the design. This grass, I know it's going to sit on your desk. You'll get used again and again and again. Then we're going to move on to two more little characters with the little berries there. This is Maisie and Marvin. And they are best buddies, and you can tell that just the way they mimic each other's almost body language. But look at their ears. They're talking to each other, they're listening, little tails curled around the branch so that they sit there in perfect peace. And our poppy. Our peaceful poppy, we've called it perfect, because this one is not only about the British countryside, but it's so iconic in the history of our country. So poppies, again, always popular and one of our favourite flowers. And we're moving on to our fruit. These are our apples. We've got them in different colourways for you. And then you choose whether you put that little hole in it where it's been nibbled away. And don't forget, it's not just the apple. We've got pears for you too. And in different sizes, so they've been purposefully nested so that you're getting the best possible value for money when it comes to the dies. And this shows you how you're paying for this much metal, but getting all of these shapes. So we're giving you those nested image dies that from this one alone, you get this many die cuts. It's so affordable to be able to work like this. So let's take a little look at some of the other examples that I've got for you, because there's so much you can do with this. Just going to move out of the way some of these different pieces so we've got some space, and take a look at some of these cards. So whether you're working with traditional card shapes or you're creating your own, doing freestanding cards, but these are designed to perfectly blend into beautiful backgrounds, but also with focal points that bring the design to life. And these two little characters are really the finishing touch, eating their way through the pear, making sure it's one of their 5 of the day and having the best possible time. And here we can see them amongst all those florals. And whether you have this card with or without the mice, it's going to be a perfect all occasion greeting card. And then finally, I've got one more for you that really focuses on the apples. And I'm thinking that this collection lends itself perfectly to get well soon cards, because of course having that apple a day is just a great way of us being able to say we're thinking about you. So there you've seen the best of what we've got for you. This collection truly is autumn at its height and 2 Red Robins at its pinnacle of bringing you storytelling. But there is a little bit more. And that little bit more is a smaller collection that works all by itself or allows you to add it into this first one. So let's take a look at that. So that second collection, which is just really quite small, and we've done this so that there are different price points for you, something for absolutely everyone. What we wanted to do in particular was make sure that I had got for you just a small collection that was going to work independently or with everything else. And this one we call Tired and Tangled. And the branches are tired, they're worn, they're old, they work perfectly horizontally or vertically, you choose. But whichever way you choose, they're going to be an integral part of the design. The barbed wire just laid across the branches, often just like a fallen fence you'd see in the countryside. And then we've got our little finch. And this is Clive. And Clive's very proud. And he would sit quite happily on these tangled and fallen branches. And he would be out there looking out into the fields, out across the fields to the classic cornflower. And the classic cornflower is just all the detail that you're going to need to add colour into the design. And finally, we've got our daisy. And the daisy is simple, but it's bright, it's proud, it is stood at its perfect, almost blossoming bloom. And this is Daisy Daydream. And put these two together with our tangled and our little birds, and you again have got a gorgeous collection that lends itself to working with the whole set that we've already got and bringing the design together. And I'm just going to reach for you a couple of pieces that will share that idea and give you an idea of how that works. And this one, I think, is the perfect example, because if I pull this back, there you see that mini collection all by itself, but it lends itself to a complete card. If I then pull in the other elements of the design that were from the first collection, you can see more detail. And then we finish it off with more of that upsell extra collection, the little mini one that has its own story. So a great card with layers and depth, giving you the best of 2 Red Robins. So please join me for the shows. I don't want you to miss this collection. It's one of the best of the year. Perfect as a standalone design. It's nature sharing its stories with us, and I can't wait to share them with you. If you want to see more from Highlight Crafts, make sure you click the like button. Subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. and click the bell icon to receive notifications of all of our future content. You can also click here to see our latest video, or click here to see more videos like this one.